everyone. I'm Julianne Meyer, host of Own Your Wellness. Happy Monday and happy Mother's Day, a day after the fact. I loved my Mother's Day, even though I no longer have my own mother alive. I still celebrate her in spirit. And the sweetest thing, my boyfriend gave me cards from our fur babies. So it kind of made my day, to say the least. But anyway, enough about me. I have got a special guest today, Justin Rice, and he is a master of many trades and a fascinating human being who does a lot to serve others, as well as just the knowledge that this gentleman has. It's amazing. So without further ado, let's bring him on. Hey, Justin, how are you?
I'm well, Julie. How are you? Thanks
so
for having
me. I'm so glad to have you on the show. It's been a while since I've seen you, so it'll be good to be able to bring you to this audience.
Yes, I'm excited.
So tell us a little bit about who you are in your own wellness journey.
Yeah, so my wellness journey really started back when I was very young, actually. My mom got me into playing all types of sports. I grew up playing soccer, basketball, football, you name it. I was really involved with that sport. And that kind of led me into actually picking up men's health magazines, right? So I know that a lot of us that are in the wellness journey know that Men's Health might not be the best resource for educating ourselves on health and wellness, but that's where I started, actually. And that really kind of led me into a passion with health and wellness and exercise. And after kind of scavenging through all of the men's health journals I could find, I found my passion into physical therapy. I actually began shadowing a physical therapist pretty early on, actually, in middle school. And I had my sights on becoming a physical therapist, going to college for exercise physiology. I ended up majoring in kinesiology and nutrition at Rutgers University. And that was where my educational path kind of took me down. And, I actually lost my mom as well my junior year of college. And I began rethinking life. I began rethinking my path into physical therapy school, if I wanted to do that. I actually began thinking about going into medicine, actually, becoming a doctor. And then I started looking into the preventative route. I became aware of that. I became aware of holistic medicine, of really taking things from a preventative approach and getting ahead of it, really getting ahead of the disease before it occurs. And that's really where I started going down the rabbit hole of reading from different various authors. And I think that's where we can gain a lot of knowledge from, is from authors and books and from accredited sources. And now we're here. After college, I went down the personal training route, and I started working with people in person, kind of on a one-on-one basis. And then I kind of started doing some online coaching, more with providing nutritional plans for people. And now I'm on the track of helping people with their mindset. So more so late, I got trained in the subconscious mind, NLP, timeline therapy, hypnotherapy. And I really, really went down the route of the mindset and the subconscious mind, because I noticed with my clients that, we witness this all the time with people who are creating the New Year's resolutions, right? They have it in their conscious mind that I want to get it done. I want to be that new version of myself, but it just doesn't seem to happen. And I began realizing that, it's because of the belief system, the subconscious mind, the subconscious programming that's beneath it all, that's actually running the show. So for people to really transform, I believe it really starts with getting deep-rooted subconscious beliefs removed and replacing them with empowering ones. So now we're here.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but this is my absolute all-time favorite topic, is mindset. And I mean, I obviously have a love for health and nutrition. I mean, I think it's super important, obviously, but the thing is you can know what to do. That doesn't mean you're actually going to do it. And so, and most people do. Most people have an idea. Even you can even give them the proper diet, even down to snacks and what time to eat and everything, and they just can't make themselves seem to do it. And I love that you're focusing on what's behind that, because you can give somebody education, but that's not necessarily going to create a different result for them unless they're, able to overcome whatever it is that is, that is blocked inside their mind, or even in their heart, soul, however you want to put it. Something that I know that you like, and I'm just curious, how does meditation play a part in your day-to-day life? Or, I mean, do you use that to center yourself, or is it something that you recommend for people? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so there's quite a few different reasons why I incorporate meditation. I believe meditation is the way to find more awareness in our lives, really becoming conscious of unconscious programs, and really just finding awareness throughout our day and really sitting in that seat of awareness rather than having the thoughts kind of running the show. And that was one of my biggest realizations when I first got into meditation 5-6 years ago, was that, oh, I'm not actually my thoughts, that I'm actually the awareness behind the thoughts. And I think that's what a lot of people experience during their, quote unquote, a spiritual awakening. And what I use meditation for is to really create from that state of being, and to really change subconscious programs within myself to become the person that I want to be. And the reason why meditation is such a useful tool to actually change subconscious beliefs is because you're slowing your brainwaves down, and you're actually getting into that autonomic nervous system. You're actually slowing the brainwaves down to a wave state that's very, very slow, and that it's actually inside the subconscious mind. Because the subconscious mind has a certain set of brainwave frequencies that it's connected to. And when we're in very high stressful brainwave frequencies, our brain we're actually in the conscious thinking mind. We're actually not in the autonomic programming. So people, like you mentioned, try to change by thinking alone, right? This is kind of where the mishap came with The Secret, right? It was all about, oh, you just think it and it will happen. But it's just not the case, because we witness people, a New Year's resolution say, I want to become this, and it doesn't happen because subconsciously the beliefs are different. So I use meditation for that purpose, to get in, to calm my brainwave frequencies down, to get into that autonomic nervous system. And then from that state of being, laying down new thoughts, new beliefs, new emotions. Who do I want to be today? And becoming that person. And then also the second way that I use meditation is if I find myself throughout the day going into emotional states that I don't want to be in, that I find myself that aren't serving me for the person that I want to become, I simply take a moment to ground myself, to get back to center, calm my breath down. Depending on how much time I have, do a meditation to get back into that future version of myself. So that's what I do.
I love how you put that. I think that is such a beautiful way to look at yourself and life. And I know that you would appreciate what my spiritual mentor always says. And I'm curious what your thoughts are about it. He's always talking about how you need to speak the truth that you want to be, and speak the truth that you want to become. And not, like, for example, for those of you, I know Justin understands, those of you who are watching, he said, we'll typically talk about the problems that we're having, or that we're sick, we're not well, and things, the obvious things that are the fact in front of us, instead of about I am well and asking better questions, like how can I fill in the blank. So what are your thoughts about thinking about who you want to, the life that you want to have, and thinking from that place as opposed to what's in front of you?
Yeah, that's a great point, Julie. So I would first ask people, what do you want to create? And okay, so then from there, if you say that you want to create a new life, you want to have a new reality, you want to have better health, you want to have more wealth, you want to have better friendships, whatever it is, then why even talk about the problems then, right? And I understand why people do it. It's an addiction, right? It can feel very good to the body to constantly talk about problems, especially when you have a bunch of friends who just want to talk about and complain about things that are happening. And it could be a little uncomfortable to be the one that says, hey guys, I don't want to complain anymore. I'm over that. I don't want to talk about the problems anymore. I want to talk about what I want to create. And it could be uncomfortable for people, but I would first have people ask themselves that question is, what do I want to create? Do I want to create more of the problems, Or am I over that? Am I tired of talking about that? And I want to be healthy. I want to create a new life, right? So then that kind of gives that awareness of when those thoughts come up. Oh, do I actually want to have this thought anymore? Or is this just an unconscious thought that's coming up? And if it's an unconscious thought, just keep becoming aware of it. Write it down. Do something to bring it to your attention even more so that it doesn't slip by. And then constantly be bringing in those new thoughts of, this is who I want to be, affirmations, right? But also feeding it with the feeling too is so important. The feeling, the feeling. We learn this from so many great teachers. I'm listening to Neville Goddard right now, and Neville Goddard, Neville Goddard, he's one of the OGs in the law of attraction space, and he has a book on the feeling is a secret, right? The feeling, the emotion. How is it going to feel when you are healthy, right? Begin bringing that to your body, and that is where the power lies. The feeling with the thoughts together.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because a lot of people think of affirmations as just something that you blurt out. And, you're right. It's a two-part thing. It's not just what you're saying, but how are you feeling when you're talking about how would it feel to be in perfect health? What would that look like, for you? And, what actions too, because sometimes you can take action. Sometimes it is, my spiritual mentor, once again, he's always talking about how everything is energy before it becomes matter. Yes. And so your thoughts are energy and your emotions are energy. So what kind of energy are you putting out there that you're creating into matter? So
yes. I love that. That is so important to realize, is your energy is creating your reality, so yes, you want to put the thoughts and the energy of who you want to become. And how is it going to feel? Really, how is it going to feel when you have everything that you desire, that dream business, you're helping out a bunch of people, you're in the great health, you're with a beautiful partner in your life that you dearly love. How is that going to feel? And that is actually drawing that experience to you. That is actually making it manifest. So, it sometimes can be a little bit of a trip, because when you go into your reality and you realize, oh, those things that I'm wanting or I desire deeply, and I'm feeling like that I have them, they're not there yet. You got to keep believing, because the day you stop believing is the day you disconnect from that future reality happening. So you got to keep bringing it every day and just get ready, because things are going to happen. you're going to meet people, you're going to have new opportunities come to your life, and it's because you changed something within yourself, so.
Yes. Well, there's two sayings that come to mind. Is 3 feet from gold, that book. And don't stop before the miracle. So you don't want to stop right before you get exactly what you want. It's almost there, just because it's kind of like a flower budding up out of the ground. If you can't see it until you see it. So
keep going. I'm having that feeling right now with my business, because it's there, it's really there, and we're excited to serve the people. And it also, I had a lot of momentum coming up to it, as far as like creating it and being super excited about it. And it's kind of like in that stagnant portion, but it's like, no, Justin, come on now. This stuff. Keep bringing the energy, because you got a lot of people to help out. And, this is much bigger than what you're perceiving it to be right now. So just keep bringing it. Yeah, keep bringing it. I love that.
Yeah, me too. And speaking of your business, I would love for you to talk a little bit about that now. We can touch on it later as well. But I just love what you're up to and what you're creating for the world.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This has been a long time coming. I've had this vision for a very long time. It came to me in a dream. The name of the company came to me in the middle of the night. It's called Just Integrity. And obviously it has my name in there, but it's not about me. I know a lot of people mention that first. Oh, it's got Justin in there. It's really about the value system of the company, integrity. And this is a value system that I personally want to become more of. And I think it's a very strong value system for us all as human beings to become more aligned with, because integrity really means just wholeness, right? And we're all searching for wholeness in everything that we do, whether it's you're going on a shopping spree or you're, doing meditation, whatever it is, you're searching for a feeling of wholeness, of oneness, right? And that is what integrity means, is wholeness. And my vision with this company that I want to serve the people with is integrating mind, body, and spirit, right? All three of those aspects of life. I think they're three very broad yet integral parts of life. So with the mindset portion, we have Just Integrity Academy. That's where I'm going to have people like yourself, Julie, come on and, partner together and have you teach about a topic that you're passionate about. That's very much in the beginning, early stages, but that is going to be the mindset portion. We're going to have a free blog for people to learn. And really my view with that is to really make sure that we are providing resources for people that they can trust in, right? Because we know it right now, information's all over the place. I want to provide this as a sacred place for people to really know. If you go on Just Integrity, you're going to find information that is true. Second thing, the body portion, we have supplementation. I just got our first samples in. We got a bunch of different all natural supplements. And I know all natural has a different connotation, but everything is just what it is. It's the ingredients. There's no additives, preservatives. You could see it. Like, for example, this here is beetroot. The only ingredients in there is organic beetroot powder, and then with the veggie capsule, right? So that's that. And then the spirituality portion is meditation. So like I mentioned to everybody, I'm certified in hypnotherapy. I'm going to be creating some meditations for people to really begin creating their day and changing those subconscious beliefs. But that's pretty much it with Just Integrity.
That's it. I'm sorry, but that's a lot. That's so exciting.
Yes.
And I love the name too, because, it's what's coming through you. You are not somebody that is in it for you. You're in it to help other people. And that just comes through in your energy. But I love it because it's catchy that people will remember. It has a deeper meaning as well, which is pretty amazing. And I love that you want to integrate all three, because if one part of you is unhealthy, you're unhealthy. And that's the whole premise of the show, is that, own your wellness. There's more to wellness than broccoli and burpees. I'm not saying that eating well and exercise and eating well isn't important. I'm just saying it's not the only two things.
Yes.
I mean, so I know, I love that. But I do know, and I'd love to touch on this too, is you recently, well, I guess it's been not that long, you did a huge bike ride.
yeah, pretty huge, I guess, yeah.
I mean, for everybody who's watching, if you didn't get to see this on Facebook, I was paying attention throughout your trip. I was so impressed by what you did. And I would ask that you not be too humble to share about that, because I think it's really exciting and inspiring for other people who want to do something really big.
Yeah, so May 14th, which is actually my birthday, we actually my buddy and I embarked on a bike across America. So we were cycling on touring bikes, essentially, and we had all of our gear on the back of us, and we were living off of our bikes for 71 days, pretty much. There were times in the beginning where we were in hotels. About once a week, we would get a hotel or a motel or an Airbnb to rest and recover and shower and take care of ourselves, just hygiene. But we embarked on a journey from Oregon. We started in Tillamook, Oregon, all the way to Tybee Island, which is in Georgia, coast to coast. And it was about a 4,000-mile bike ride, and we were doing about 60 miles a day. And this bike ride was inspired a few months prior. My good friend that I grew up with, very near to my heart, my buddy Isaac, he was in the military for 6 years in the Army. He was actually stationed in Georgia, invited me to bike across America with him. And at the time, I was like, let's do it. This sounds like a journey. He's going to be raising money for Army veterans. I was like, I'm going to raise money for single mothers. And that's what we're going to do. And I got back to San Diego because we were on a trip together. I got back home and began getting hit with reality. And I was like, I was getting fearful, honestly. I had fearful thoughts that were coming up. I was like, I don't know if I'm in shape for this. I don't know if I could do this. But I was led by synchronicities, led by alignment, and just powerful thoughts. I started having thoughts of, okay, yes, because I've heard this from Joe Dispenza. I'm a big Joe Dispenza student. I was just at 2 of his retreats, and his thoughts and his words were coming up in my mind at the time. He says this thing in one of his inspirational kind of happy faces clips. He says, when people are in fear and lack, that's a time to be encouraged, and that's a time to give as well. And I kept having that thought up. Kept having those thoughts come up where it was like, everybody's locked down right now. Now is a time to go out and do something big. Now is a time to go give and donate to people while everybody else is trying to hoard toilet paper and keep everything inside. I was like, this is the time to do it. This is the time to inspire people and go after this. I'm going to regret this if I don't do this. I'm absolutely going to regret it. And I knew that. And I was like, you know what? Let's take the leap. So I bought the bike. I bought my bike probably 2 weeks prior to the trip. As I said, he was set on it. He was like, I'm going with or without you. He said, May 13th, I'm catching the flight to Oregon. May 14th, I'm starting. And when he said that, it clicked for me. May 14th is my birthday. It was like, what better way to go into 25 than to begin on this journey to give back to single mothers? And I was like, you know what? I got to get out of my own way. And I went after it. And for the people that are listening, I did not train. I was very, very undertrained. And I know that because I've been exercising my entire life and I had no cycling experience. I was falling off the bike multiple times all throughout the beginning of the trip. Long story short, we raised about $12,000-$13,000 in total across both charities, and we made it. We biked 71 days, 4,000 miles from Oregon to Savannah, Georgia. And trust me, it took a lot of belief, That was it. It was every day just having the vision of the future of, okay. And I was doing meditations throughout the journey. Because I needed to heal my body because my body was beat up. I was meditating upon the future reality that we were getting to the end. Friends and family were there. We had a bunch of money raised for the charities that we were raising money for, and that we did it. And I kept leading with that vision, and that's what got us through.
That's amazing because, it's one thing to have an idea and even get going on it. And then a lot of people, their first injury or their first bad day or whatever, they might give up or they might start doing the journey with less integrity. Like, I'll just catch a ride from here to here.
Oh, yeah. I tried to ask my buddy before we started, let's do motorcycles, man. Why do we need to pedal? But it made it so much more fun,
And an accomplishment, my goodness, because then you push through those mental barriers as well. You can do it because, we decide these things too. Like, it makes sense knowing your background in knowing the body and nutrition that you would want to train for something like that because all of your schooling has taught you absolutely have to train physically and mentally for something like that. But you didn't. And I love that because it's not always the case. Like, we're just told that. I mean, granted, it probably would have been a lot easier in some respects if you had, but it's not necessarily the end all be all is what I'm getting at.
Yes. And I love that you mentioned that. I got chills while you were saying that because that's a belief, that is a belief system that, oh, you have to train this amount of time to get ready for this. And my next athletic endeavor that I want to do is an Ironman. And I know that I don't have to believe in that anymore. I don't have to believe in that I have to do this long, rigorous training system, get my nutrition dialed in, all of those things that we're told to believe. I don't have to do that because, yes, I'm going to do that because I know it will make things a little bit more smoother. But I know that with the power of the mind that anything is possible if we deeply believe it. And for the people that are tuning in, just know that whatever you have perceived in other people accomplishing, it's innate within you. it is something that you could do as well. You have the same God, universal intelligence, spirit within that has the inspiration to get it done. You just have to get your mind and your body to believe it. That's all it is. That's all it is. And we can make quantum leaps. You know, that's how I would describe that bike ride. It was a quantum leap in a shift in my body. My body caught up because my mind was already there.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to put it. Oh, I love that. All right. So on that note, we are going to go to commercial break. So we'll be right back. Okay. Isn't he amazing? I just love what this young man has done with his life, and there's so much more to come. But like I mentioned, we do need to go to commercial break. So to all of those of you who are watching us live, I want to say hello and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. And we'll be right back after these messages.
When drug or alcohol addiction take over, things begin to disappear. Your friends, your family, and eventually, you. Recommended by Dr. Phil, New Method Wellness can help get your life back with individualized treatment plans for dual diagnosis clients. New Method Wellness provides the most highly credentialed treatment in a safe and welcome environment. Call New Method Wellness for your free consultation and ask about our national accreditations. Together, we can put the pieces back together.
Welcome back, everyone, to Own Your Wellness. Today's special guest is Justin Rice, and we'll bring him right back on. Hey, Justin, welcome back.
Thank you. Zoomed right back in. Thanks for having me.
I'm like, bam! I don't want to waste any time just chatting to myself. Well, by myself, I should say. Anyway, so I was thinking about a bunch of different things, but the way that my mind works, and especially since you and I know a lot of the same spiritual and teachers and just leading thought leaders, there's a story, I think it was from Joe Dispenza, actually, and it was about that guy that he decided he was going to go run some really long race. It was like a marathon or something, like no, it was longer than that. It was days. It was one of those super long races that's days long. And he shows up in like his galoshes and his overalls, and everybody's looking at him laughing because they'd all been training for like at least a year. And, you know, they're like, well, why did you decide to join the race? And he said, well, I've always wanted to. And they said, well, why do you think you can do it? He said, because I've been chasing my animals around, you know, the farm. So I think I can do it. Yeah. And they're like laughing at him. So everybody, you know, they take off, and he just like shuffling along. And the thing is, you know, time goes on, and he just keeps on going, you know, like the tortoise and the hare. He just keeps on going. And he actually ended up winning the whole competition. And the thing is that when everybody else had gone to sleep, he just kept running because nobody told him that's what he was supposed to do. So like to stop. So he just kept going and he beat everybody. He made like a world record. It's an amazing story. But my point is that nobody told him he couldn't. Like he didn't have all those beliefs in his mind that it takes this and it takes that to succeed, that he just went for it. So kind of just wanted to share that because it was definitely one of my favorite stories. But something that I'm just curious about is, because you do have a background in nutrition and, exercise, my thing is, and I know nutrition really well, but I still struggle with things like supplements. And what I mean by supplements is things like beetroot. So how would I, as somebody who is just for an example, starting out, how do we figure out what we need and what we don't?
Yeah, so I always recommend people to get blood work done first and foremost, to really see what's going on internally so that you're aware of, okay, I'm vitamin D deficient or I'm deficient in a certain vitamin, right? To first get that done. So see a local naturopathic doctor in your area and have them do a full blood panel, full blood work, have them do your hormone panels, have them do your vitamin panels to really see what's going on inside. I think that's first and foremost what everybody should do. Then from there, you always want to do things naturally. You want to see if you could find a way to first do it with your diet, changing up certain foods that you're eating, eliminating certain toxins, whether it's sugar or certain processed ingredients. You want to start with just elimination. You don't want to have to just begin taking a bunch of supplements because, number one, it could be quite expensive to begin taking a bunch of supplements when you could just start eliminating bad things from your diet. So start with that. And then from there, if you want to optimize a little bit more after making those changes and you go back and do your blood work, a few months out and you say, okay, maybe vitamin D needs a little bit more, then that's when you can go ahead and begin filling in those gaps with supplements. So I like to think of supplements as the nutritional fillers, right? They're the certain areas that you may just not be able to get up optimized. So you just implement a supplement to help out with that.
I love that because a lot of people use supplements as a replacement for food, or they think that if they take these supplements that they can go eat that McDonald's burger and, whatever, ice cream and whatever the case may be. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend first get that blood work done and then go from there. First naturally eating the right foods and eliminating things that are not serving.
And something that I always love to mention too, to people that are going through those withdrawals, especially sugar withdrawals or caffeine, for example. I mean, these are things that your body will literally be mad at you for. So, but there is light at the end of the tunnel and it doesn't always last. So if you can just get through that.
Yeah.
We're in a merit.
I've really become a lot more flexible in my own personal nutrition regimen. In the past, with the nutrition knowledge that we have, became very, very regimented around what foods I would consume. Because, once you get into the rabbit hole, a lot of things become toxic. You're like, wow, GMOs and this, oh my God, I can't eat this, and sooner or later, there's not really anything that you could eat. It kind of boxes you out a little bit. And one of the things that really, really put a light touch in my life is really coming across Joe Dispenza and his teachings with energy and balancing your certain energy centers within your body, and knowing that we always have the potential to heal ourselves by getting back into a state of love and into a state of gratitude. And that's one of the things that he shares, is that the judgment of the food is more toxic than the actual food. So if we're going to go sit down and have a meal, whether it's the most organic meal or not, but if you're judging it, if you're looking at it and you're like, I know this is toxic. I know the grains are going to disrupt my gut biome. I know the sugar is causing this. That judgment and that fear is way more toxic in your body than just actually enjoying it and having the bowl of ice cream and just loving it, because it makes me think about the people that live in their 90s to 100s that have been smoking a pack of cigarettes every day. Why did they, contrary to all of the research that we've learned, right? Oh, cigarettes are carcinogens. They have all these chemicals in them. They block your lungs. We have all this scientific research to state that. But why are there those outliers that live till 90 to 100 years old? Because they might not have had any of that knowledge or awareness to even believe that it caused any of those things. They were just smoking their cigarette, having a grand old time. And maybe it was actually increasing their biochemistry a little bit. Who knows? So I have been shedding light to that more so of like not being so judgmental. We are human beings. I like to think of us as spiritual beings having human lives. If you want to go have the ice cream and the cake for your birthday, go enjoy it. Don't judge it. Enjoy it,
Oh, yes. No, you said my favorite one. It's like, yes, enjoy your birthday cake because part of the food is who you're spending the meal with. How you're spending your time. It's an experience. So how do you want that experience to be? Do you, like you said, do you want to be sitting there judging yourself? And I love that. And the other thing too, is when you're talking about like how far down the rabbit hole you want to go, all I can think of is how judgmental I used to get about my own food. Like kale, for example, you shouldn't eat it raw. It should be slightly cooked.
Blend it up, emulsify it. Yeah.
I'm like, wow, soon I'll only be eating sunlight because there's always something. But yeah, and it's about making those small incremental changes too, because ultimately, it actually quantum leaps your health too, because it's the consistency of doing more of the things you should and less of the things that aren't as good for you.
Yeah.
So I love that.
What also comes to mind too is the intention, really looking at the intention behind why you are changing your diet or why you are looking for a new body, right? Mm-hmm. Really looking at the intentions. Is it because, I want to be more healthy. I want to have more energy throughout the day. I want to better serve my community. I want to be there for my kids. I want to have more energy and vitality for them to be able to play with them. Great energizing intentions, right? Or are the intentions, I'm looking at the mirror and I'm saying, I hate my body. I hate it. I hate the way I look. I hate all this. That is a totally different outlook and intention. So really getting clear on creating a positive, nurturing intention behind why you're making those changes, I think is very important for people to look at.
Amen to that, because your body hears everything that you think, and it will continue to give you stuff that you don't want because that's how you're talking to yourself. So, your thoughts do have power. Your words do have power. I love that so much, because if you think that you're broken, that's definitely not the same energy that's going into it as I'm beautiful just the way I am, and I would like to improve. I want, because we're here to expand and grow. And so am I doing it from a place of wanting to expand and grow, or am I doing it from a place of trying to avoid a feeling like sadness or shame or, self-rejection in any form? So, yeah, I love that.
Yeah, that's very, very important for people to get clear on. And also, it will speed up your results. You're going to get results so much quicker if you just have a little bit more of a positive mental attitude, rather than, getting up in the morning and you got your workout booked in your schedule and you're like, I got to work out today. I don't want to do this. That mental attitude is it's going to take a while. It's going to take a long time to really get into that body that you want to create. And, versus waking up in the morning, I'm excited. I'm doing this with a vision. I know who I want to become. I know who I am. I know who I am going to become. And I'm going to go after that workout with that mentality. And I can assure you, your results are going to speed up a lot quicker.
Amen to that. And, here's the thing, too, that I just feel compelled to share is that, there will be those mornings when you're like, oh, hell no, I do not want to get up. I do not want to work out. But that is your way. This is the hint, the clue. your body is building in your brain different neural pathways. So it takes energy, it takes time, and your brain is lazy. It's like, no, I don't want to do that. So anytime that you come up against that resistance, go through it, go through the resistance. Just know that your brain is building neural pathways, different new ones, kind of like when, you're learning to drive. You have to pay attention to absolutely every single little detail. But after a while, it becomes more, you still have to pay attention, but it's not to that extent, 10 and 2 and checking all the mirrors and all that. Same idea. It will become much more natural for you to just get up and do it. It's like breathing. So I love that.
Yeah, it becomes, like you mentioned, it becomes unconscious. It becomes a subconscious program, right? Just like what you were describing. When you're first learning to drive the car, it's very step by step, gas, pedal, put the hands on the wheels, 10 to 3. And then, now you hop in the car and before you know it, you're at your destination, and it's now subconscious. And that's just like anything in life, over time, as you keep doing it, your body becomes subconsciously programmed to believe that it will have that. You could subconsciously program success. You could subconsciously program health and the desire, working out, and eating healthy. You could subconsciously program those things. So that's where I've really dove into that work of really looking at, okay, so if the subconscious program is what's running it all, why don't we just go there first rather than trying to change the habits and consistently waking up every day and really doing it matter on matter and working super hard to make it happen? We could just go right into the programming system. It's just like a computer. Our brains are just like a computer. Our bodies are, the autonomic nervous system, all these things, they're a system, so when you get into that operating system of the subconscious mind, you begin changing those beliefs with meditation, with hypnotic language, with different hypnotic practices. Now you're programming yourself for that new destiny that you want to create. And I'm telling you, it will become so much easier than regimented matter on matter, making it work and motivation,
and pushing through and all that. No, it's so funny because I don't know if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks, but I was listening to Abraham Hicks today. And for those of you who are not aware of Abraham Hicks, you can catch them on YouTube. It's Esther Hicks who channels a group of souls called they call themselves Abraham. I think just for the sake for us humans to understand. But even if you don't believe in that, the knowledge that is put forth is pretty freaking amazing. So anyway, my point though is it has to dovetail with what Justin's saying, and that is that she was talking about how, you think that you have to work so hard and you've got to push and grind and all this. So she compared it to vacuuming. So you're going to go and vacuum your entire house and go to, every corner, lift up all the furniture, but you don't bother to plug in the vacuum. So why don't you go plug in the vacuum first, and then everything else is so much easier, and you'll get the result that you want a lot quicker than if you don't plug in the vacuum. You might still go through all the motions and all the hard work, but you're still not going to get the results that you want. You need to plug in the vacuum. So I just love that analogy about, doing the inner work first. So
yeah. Well, and Esther and all of these great teachers, they all boil it down to this one thing that I've noticed across the board is the feeling. We do everything as human beings for the most part for a feeling. We chase certain things, we want to get success, or, we want to make an impact. We want to, whatever it is, it's ultimately for a chemical feedback in the body, because okay, when I eat this food, it's going to give me this feeling. So I eat it. All of these things are for an emotional state. So rather than waiting for it to happen, rather than going ahead and waiting for the business to be super successful or for your dream partner to come, just do it now. Now is the time. Now is the only time that we have. The present moment is it. So if you know that you're going to make it happen, you know that it's going to give you the feeling of gratitude. You're going to be in love with life. You're going to be so happy that you got through it. Why not begin feeling those feelings now? And watch the magic happen. It might just be the experimenter. This is kind of what Joe talks about as well, as just be the experimenter of your life. Go ahead and just try feeling gratitude throughout the day, even if there's no reason to feel gratitude, even if everything in your life is going crazy, like you're living in chaos, right? Just try to find some gratitude just for your breath, for the life that you've been given. You got another day. Find gratitude for that and just keep doing that every day, and you'll condition your body to a new state of being. And sooner or later, your whole reality will be totally different, and you'll wonder why it happened. And it's because you changed. You began firing new chemicals in your body of gratitude, of love, and you made a new reality happen. You are powerful, my friends, all of you.
Exactly. More than you know. That's the thing. Way more than you give yourself credit for. And it's kind of like, I always think about how we can see greatness in others, but it's really hard to see it in ourselves sometimes. But I don't know, when you just follow that feeling, just follow the feeling. That's kind of,
Yes,
follow the feeling. I love that too. And it's kind of like, maybe you want, say, a dream house, for example. Well, what would that dream house feel like? If you can create that feeling in something else, you're calling that house to you, even if you're not, directly thinking about that house. It's the feeling behind the house. So just something to think about for those of you that are watching.
Yes. And something that comes to mind too with what you were talking about with the example of the gentleman who just was running around with the animals and got up and ran, right, for that competition. That reminds me of what kids are like, right? Kids they're not filled with all of these programs and all these belief systems. They're free to be. They truly believe that whatever they put their mind to, they're going to get it. And if they don't get it, trust me, they're going to find a way to get the parents to get it for them. They're going to cry. They're going to do something, because they know in their heart that they are the creator to some level, that they whatever they put their mind on, they're going to get it. So I encourage people to get back into that childlike state and really begin dreaming again. I understand sometimes dreams can be a little outlandish, but I really believe that it's only the limitation of your mind. If you keep believing it and you keep putting your mind to it, it will happen. So just allow yourself to be that kid again, to really just sit down and ponder, one life in this human body. Who do I want to be? What do I want to create? What would be the most outlandish dream that if I created it, I would be so inspired with life? What would that be? And go after that. Let that lead your life. Let that vision guide you, and let that vision take you at its grasp.
I love that so much. And all I could think of is and to just add on is, who told you you couldn't? Where did that come from? Everything was impossible until it happened. Flying in the 4-minute mile and, all these wonderful things that humans have accomplished that, they were all impossible at one point. So who aren't you to be great?
And surrender, surrender during the process. That's something that I'm learning more and more, is just letting go, because a lot of I have to figure out A through Z, step by step, how I'm going to accomplish this, can block so many blessings that are right before you. The opportunities that come up. If you're so rigid in your mindset of, no, I'm sorry, I can't do this because this is the way I planned it out, you're missing out on what I would like to say is maybe God's plan or the divine's plan or universal oneness plan, right? And there is a plan that can be so much easier than the plan that you have put out on your path. And the egoic mind that, that we all have, we want to say, this is how I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to do it any other way. But you're getting in your own way, and you're blocking a whole bunch of blessings if you don't surrender and allow yourself to be open for unknown experiences to happen. Leaving space in your reality to actually have the unknown happen is so important. So surrender as well.
Yes, surrender and allowing. I think that's another one, allowing. It's kind of the same idea. I know that for a long time I struggled with the idea of surrender, because to me, I made it mean like giving up. And that's not at all what you're talking about.
Yeah, different,
So
yeah.
it is. It's totally different. It's not like white flag, you know.
Yeah, it's more of a knowing, you know. I think it's more
Exactly.
of like, I know that there is this reality that I want to create is going to happen. I'm going to play a role in it. I'm not going to give up. I'm still going to take action, right? I think that's a big part with the law of attraction is action. You know, you want to actually show that you are actually confident in this journey that you're partaking on and that you want to make this happen. You're showing universal mind, universal intelligence, your spirit within that you believe in this, right? And a lot of people think, oh, it's just going to come to me if I think it. Well, you know, that's a little kind of woo-woo, you know, it's a little too like ungrounded, you know. Absolutely, I believe that our thoughts and our beliefs they do have an impact, but you gotta play your part, you know. You gotta show up too. You gotta show that you want to make it happen, but also along the journey of really knowing that it's going to happen and letting go to synchronicities, letting go to new opportunities, letting go to business partnerships coming involved, or letting go of the plans that you've had and letting go to something greater is so beautiful. And it's one of the most magical parts of life.
No, it is. And all I could think of too, and I'm just one for analogies and little stories, but, you know, as you're saying, you have to take action. It's like, if you want to win the lottery, you still have to buy the ticket. So you still have to do your part.
Yes.
You definitely can't win it. Yeah, you got to show up, suit up, show up. We are almost out of time. Is there anything else that you would love to mention? I want to make sure we put up your website again so that people can reach out to you directly. And I know that we can find you on Facebook, and I'm assuming Instagram. I'm not a huge Instagrammer, so I don't really know, but.
Yeah, I've been tagging you. I thought I've been tagging you on your Own Your Wellness TV show Instagram. But yes, everybody, you could find me. I'm very, very active on Instagram. My Instagram is I am Justin Rice. And then, you know, my personal, my company is Just Integrity there. And we're really excited to be launching soon in the up and coming weeks. We just got some final foundational pieces to put together, and we're going to be ready to serve everybody and to really cultivate community. That's the bigger vision with the company, is to really cultivate community around like-minded people that are grounded in these beliefs. And my last message here for everybody is to really truly believe that you are the creator of your reality, that you are the creator, and that you are so much more powerful than you've ever been told in your life. You are so much more powerful. If we've been just told this in education, if our teachers told us that you are the creator, you know, do this, believe in yourself, we would have a totally different reality than what we're experiencing right now as a collective group of human consciousness. So everybody, just take your power back today. If you haven't been believing in yourself, today is your permission slip to begin believing in yourself again. Begin embodying the feelings of your future reality. Begin thinking the thoughts of who you want to be, and do it for something bigger than yourself. Because at the end of the day, I can assure you, when you have all the money, when you have all the friends and all the cars and all the luxury items, you're just going to want to give to people. That's going to be it. That's going to be the last thing that's on the plate. And just start from there, because it's what we all want to do. We're wired for it. So everybody, believe in yourself.
Thank you so much, Justin. That was amazing. I really appreciate you being on the show. It's been so much fun for me, especially. But anyway, I'll see you soon. Thanks for coming on.
See you soon. Thank you, Julie.
Isn't he awesome? I just love that he's helping change the world one soul at a time, and with such big ambition and such knowledge that he's willing to share with the whole world. So anyway, check him out. And to the rest of the audience, thank you so much for being here today. It's been such a pleasure, and we'll see you soon.